Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to see one of the important practicals. Name of the practical is estimation of CO2. So, the basic aim of the practical itself is estimation of CO2 from given water sample. In addition to this, what actually is the principle of CO2 presence in the environment? In the aquatic environment, as we know that the CO2 is being constantly added by the activities of flora and fauna, like by the means of respiration, also by the process of diffusion, and by aerobic and anaerobic respiration. It is also released within the aquatic environment because of decay of the dead material like species of animals and plants. The next important thing is what are the apparatus used to perform this practical. So as you all know, we need a burette with a stand, we need a pipette, measuring cylinder, conical flask, etc. In addition to that, requirement of chemicals to perform estimation of CO2. Phenolphthalein is needed as an indicator. In addition to that, NaOH is needed. And after this, we are going to see how actually we have to perform the practical. So, first of all, you will have to do what? You will have to take 100 ml of water sample, and this 100 ml of water sample, you have to take it in a conical flask with the help of this measuring cylinder. After taking 100 ml of water sample in this conical flask, you have to do what? You have to add this phenolphthalein 1 or 2 drops as an indicator. Now, on adding phenolphthalein as an indicator to the water sample, if the color of the water sample becomes pink, it indicates that CO2 is absent in that water sample. So, on adding phenolphthalein as an indicator to the water sample, if the water sample remains colorless, it indicates that there is presence of CO2 in that water sample. You have to do what? You have to take this water sample and you have to titrate it against NaOH. Now what will happen? What will be the end color? So the end color will be, just go on adding drop by drop NaOH, and on adding NaOH the end point will be pink color. So as soon as you see a faint pink color, note down the reading, whatever the burette reading is going to show. Okay, that's all. So simple as it is. Now the next important part which is there, it is in the form of calculation. For calculation, what we have to do? So the formula which is there for calculation, it is in this form. For estimation of free CO2, what are things we should know? The first important thing is burette reading. Whatever the burette reading comes, for example, suppose if the burette reading is 0.3, 0.4, it depends on what type of sample you are using, whether you are using a tap water, whether you are using a industrial water, whether you are using a polluted water. On that basis, your reading keeps on changing. So, in the process of calculation, you have to note on the burette reading. For example, if it is X, or whatever water sample we have taken, we have got the reading as 0.3. After that, normality of NaOH is already given, which is 0.05 normality. In addition to that, how much ml of water sample we have taken with the help of measuring cylinder? We have taken 100 ml of water sample. Now all these readings which you have got, you have to put it into a formula. Now what is the formula for free CO2? The formula for free CO2 is NBR, that is burette reading, into normality of the titrant, into 44, into 1000 and divide by ml of water sample. So in that, if you take reading as X or if you take reading as 0.3, we are going to do what? 0.3 is an example we have taken. So according to formula, 0.3 into 0.05 into 44 into 1000 divided by water sample which you have taken, which is 100 ml. So when you calculate it, the reading, final reading which you are going to get, it is going to be in the form of 6.6 mg per liter of CO2 at NTP. This is the reading which you are going to get it, which is based on a simple example of burette reading 0.3. So as I told you earlier, the reading of final calculation, it is going to depend on what type of water sample you are going to use. If you are going to use polluted water sample, if you are going to use industrial water sample, or even if you take tap water sample, all three readings, they are going to be different. So depending on that, your final reading will be coming. Okay, so this is the procedure, method and mechanism with the help of which we can perform estimation of CO2. Okay dear students, now I've told you theoretical part of how to estimate CO2. Now actually we are going to see practical demonstration of how to perform CO2. So initially what we are going to do, all the apparatus which are present, they have to be cleaned, they have to be neat, and then you do what? You should have a measuring cylinder, and in that measuring cylinder, whatever water sample CO2 you are going to estimate, you have to take 100 ml of water sample in this conical flask. Already I have taken this, and I am going to do what? I am going to slowly add this 100 ml of water sample in the conical flask without much rigorous shaking. Okay, so I have done what? I have taken 100 ml of water sample which is to be estimated, or whose CO2 is to be found out in this conical flask. After that, as I told you, as we have seen in the chemicals, we are going to use CO2 as an indicator. Okay, so here I am going to do what? I am going to add 1 to 2 drops of CO2. Okay, on adding CO2, I mean on adding phenolphthalein as an indicator to the water sample, if the water sample remains colorless, it indicates that CO2 is present in this water sample. But on adding phenolphthalein as an indicator, if color of the water, if it becomes pink, it indicates that CO2 is absent in this water sample. Now what the condition is? Water sample is clear, which indicates that CO2 is present. Now I am going to titrate this water sample against NaOH, which has been filled into the burette. Okay, and in theoretical part I told you what? As soon as the color of the water sample it becomes pink, you have to do what? You have to stop the process of titration. Okay, now we'll see what actually is going to happen. Slowly you have to add drop by drop, because the stage comes where what happens? The color of the water sample, it becomes pink. Go on adding slowly, drop by drop. Okay student, can you see this? Now the color of the water sample, it has become pink in color, and the color, it has to be faint pink in color. Suppose continuously if you go on adding, the color of the water sample will become more darker, and if the color of the water sample is more dark, which means what? Your reading is also going to increase. So as soon as you see a faint color, you stop the process of titration and note down the reading. And this process of titration, you have to take it 3 times. You have to note down the first reading. Now here my first reading is something 0.5 something, first reading. So in that calculation table which I am going to provide it to you, entire, that's a writing material, what aim, apparatus, procedure and calculation is, I am going to perform it. But in exams, when actually you have to perform it, you should know what to do and what not to do. Okay, so my first reading is 0.5 something, And then after that I'm going to do what? I'm going to just wash all these apparatus once again and continue the same process 2 more times. That is what? 100 ml of water sample, phenolphthalein 1 to 2 drop, and just titrate it. Note down the second reading also. Same third time I'm going to repeat again, and the third reading also I'm going to take it. Now from all these 3 readings you have to do what? You have to take one mean from it. That is, now suppose first reading is 0.5, second reading is 0.6, again third reading is 0.6. So mean I'm going to do what? I'm going to take 0.6 as the mean of those 3 readings. And whatever that 0.6 reading I've got, I'm going to do what? I'm going to put it into this formula, which is Burette reading into normality of the titrant into 44 into 1000 divided by 100. And that ultimately after calculation I'm going to do what? I'm going to get the actual percentage of CO2 present in that water sample. Okay? And don't forget to mention the unit of that particular reading, that is 6.6 mg per liter of CO2 at NTP. And what is this NTP? That is normal temperature pressure. Okay students, I hope you might have understood.